Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to bring a subject to you guys that's pretty dear to my heart after, going through some times of depression, not really being sure what we're really made of, not really being sure if I should believe in God or not. After going through countless churches, my parents fighting and getting divorced and trying to use Bible studies in church as a way to fix their marriage, and it failed big time. It's not the right tool, I can promise you that. So yeah, there was a lot of resentment against Christianity while I was growing up. Now I see it from a higher level. I see the lessons, and I also see the teachings of fear that are throughout the Bible that I think they could do without. And so my name's Randy. Welcome to Randy's World. Today we're talking about what God is and how to end your emotional suffering, if you have any. If you don't have any, great. I'm talking about God as in a spiritual sense, something that you can realize through your own realization. This is a truth for me, but believe what you want to believe. Don't just take my word for my beliefs, but see if you can implement some of these things that I'm saying to perhaps understand a little bit more deeply. So like I said, I was raised in Christianity, going to church at least once a week when I was a kid. A lot of the messages in the church didn't really resonate with me, and I found it quite boring for the most part. But after going through my 20s and 30s as an entrepreneur, having spent so much time trying to figure out why I always went in and out of depression and other things. And I knew there was something more after I had made a bunch of money, had a girlfriend, had a house, had everything the American dream tells you should have. I was still feeling stagnant, still feeling like there's something more to this world, something more to myself. Now I know what I was really doing was living from the head and not the heart. And so it took a long time to learn how to see with my heart. And let's go back now to what God is. And really, I'm telling you again, this is my belief. And what we want to have for our belief about God is the highest possible belief that will serve us to end our own suffering and allow us to see heaven on earth, which it is to me a place on earth. Sure, it may be a place in the afterlife as well, but I'm focused here on the earth now so we can have a more enjoyable life with less suffering. And so your God view has something to do with that. If you are an atheist and you don't think God exists, you don't think anything higher than this human material exists, then I think you're missing out on something magical. So what I've learned is that God is actually all there is. Heaven is actually all there is. The biggest possible view you can have, the biggest possible belief on God is that it is all there is. There is nothing that is absent from God. God is part of every little particle that makes up everything in the universe. There's actually some science behind this. I believe it's called the Higgs boson. Is the material that is inside of the space of every nucleus of every atom that is making up everything here on planet Earth and everything up in the sky and the space and the stars. And they call this the God particle. So nothing exists without it. And what does that mean for us, though? Besides just the scientific way of this is basically how belief works, by the way, is that this little thing only appears, you can only see it inside the nucleus of a cell when you focus on it, which means there's something there that's always having an awareness of when you're watching it. So that's how consciousness works, is having an awareness of when you're watching this thing, the Higgs boson particle. It appears when you look at it, which means your belief influences every single cell in your body, and your cells are actually paying attention to what you're doing and what you're saying and where you're at and what you're eating and everything else. And so let's take this another level. So if God is love too, if you're going to use the words interchangeably, and I think like love is that Higgs boson particle building upon other particles and creating unity. It's what creates everything as one. We are all one. Everything is held together by this Higgs boson particle because there's nothing that exists without it. So that does tie everything back together. But we have the illusion, because we're using our head and we're using our eyes to see everything, that there is no oneness. And we are able to separate everything with our mind and with our eyes and create separation. And that's why it's kind of hard to see that everything is one and that everything is God, because we're just using our five senses. We're not using our full capability and our higher intelligence forms, such as the heart mind, the intuitive mind, whatever you want to call it. And so the heart is actually a greater intelligence than the head, than the mind. And so how does this end suffering? Once you understand that God exists within you, and you're able to find that within yourself first, and you can go through some yogic practices, you'll find your own way, hopefully. This isn't a video on exactly how to do that. This is just to get you to the mental understanding that God exists first within you and within everything on this planet, in order to open up your heart mind and be able to sense it, feel it, and even see it. And sometimes you have to go a couple layers deep to see it. So God's love, then, the whole world and God's love is an expression of what we call unconditional love, which means it is not judging you to determine if it loves you or not. This is automatic. You could not, God isn't just a person. Like the Bible may depict a personified version, an archetypal version of God, which diminishes God because it makes it smaller and it makes it seem like God has human emotions, which I'm sure those are God too, but on the bigger picture, it's not personified version, so it's not judging you. It's only just seeing everything and collecting all the information from all of us and everything on the planet as like a continuous feedback system, not a judgment system. And so if God's love is in each particle, that means the fullness of God's love is already within you. All you have to do is draw awareness to it. You can simply close your eyes and cultivate feelings of love. If you can remember, trying to remember past feelings of love will help. But what you want to do is try to sense that feeling of love that you've known as you were a baby, because you were full of it when you were born. So close your eyes, not while you're driving, of course. Think about love and begin to cultivate this awareness of God's love, infinite love. You don't even need to use the word God if it still triggers you right now. Just use the word love and understand that love is everything then. If you don't like the word God, if you've been hurt by religion, it's not a problem. But I'm telling you right now that when you become aware and you practice becoming aware of God's love, this is kind of like prayer. This is kind of like strengthening your own faith. And once you know it's there, you don't even need faith anymore. It's just a knowing for you. It's kind of like how Jesus spoke, I am one with the Father. He was just saying, hey, I just know this in my heart. I know I am one. I know I am God, and you are too. And so this is something important and you are too. Once you discover this unconditional love for yourself and you stop judging yourself completely, you know you can do no wrong in this world. You've been taught to judge by your school system, by your parents, by the culture around you. Everything that this world teaches you is based on how to judge, how to use your head, and not how to use your heart. And so that's why you're failing to see that you're in heaven right now, is because your mind is so trained to judge and say, I hate this, I hate that, instead of I love everything. And you've given meaning to so many things that were once meaningless when you were a baby and when you were just born. And you need to make these things meaningless again, to let go of your attachment to them, to let go of the judgment with them. And because if you're able to cultivate this love on your own from inside your own heart at any given moment, no matter what's going on around inside you, you have full control of your state of being, and you're able to see the love of God at any moment, no matter what's happening to you. And this is how you begin to see heaven on earth. This is how you begin to accept yourself in full, unconditional love. The same lens of God, basically. You're seeing yourself with the God lens of unconditional love, meaning I can do no wrong. And I firmly believe this, and it took me a long time to get to this place of non-judgment and non-attachment. And it's not like I exist there every moment. There's moments where I fall out of alignment, of course. And I feel the full spectrum of emotions, of course. I'm human. But I'm able to stay in the negative emotions for less time because of this awareness. So that's why I think it's so important that I share this awareness with you. I think very few people on the planet have this full awareness of unconditional love. And once you do have it, you stop focusing on me all the time, because I don't need love. I have the love, and I have the love to give. I have so much of it to give because the fullness of God's love is already in my heart. So that way I'm already filled up, my cup is full, and I just want to give my love to so many people of the world. That is my focus. How can I give more of myself, be more of myself? I love who I am, and I want to create a bigger and bigger version of myself constantly, not to feed my ego, but how many people can I help? How many people can this one video help? How much suffering could I end? And which will be part of my life's mission going forward. So I do spiritual coaching. I help others find the best version of themselves. I help entrepreneurs enjoy this journey, because it's such a great journey that we have to begin to be lovers and creators and explore our ability to do pretty fun stuff, basically. I host a car rental company with 42 vehicles. I host an Airbnb company with 4 properties, and I'm building a community center for everybody to come share space with each other, create epic memories, build deeper connections with each other. That's in Frederick, Colorado, and I'll be opening that within the next week. And so I'm doing some pretty fun stuff. My businesses are very lifestyle oriented. I'm driving a Dodge Ram 1500 to the airport right now, and I had a little bit of time to talk to you guys. And I just want to drive this point home, this God point home, because once you expand your view to the most expansive view, which is God is everything, you could see that, like, even in a blade of grass, the God particle is there, and it's helping that piece of grass follow its path to being the best piece of grass it could possibly be. It's there supporting that piece of grass unconditionally, whether it knows about God or not. And just like we're supported completely unconditionally, whether we know God is there or not, we're constantly forgiven. So it kind of destroys the whole theory of hell. But to put hell in perspective, what I think it is pretty much the absence of God. When you don't have this awareness anymore, and you're looking at somebody who's yelling at you and making you feel a certain way because you don't see that they're just out of their alignment with God. You don't see the pain and the struggle. You're just taking it personally Because maybe I might be messed up and that's why this person's yelling at me, but truthfully, you can't mess anything up. You are completely loved. And it starts from within. Now, once you find this love from within, this is the real self-love, these unconditional self-love. There ain't nothing better than that stuff. Hopefully your mama had unconditional love at least most of the time for you. And you're able to get a part of this, because the ones that are suffering the most didn't even have that love from their parents. And so that plays out in their life for a long time to come. And you gotta, if that's you, you gotta forgive them 100%, because that forgiveness, that unconditional love that you can have for others, starts to really set you free. So yeah, once you find this unconditional love for yourself, then you can start applying it with everyone that you meet. And I'm not saying that you have to prefer that you spend time with everyone that you meet, because it's okay to have preferences. Unconditional love does not mean that I have no preferences. There's people I'd rather hang out with, and there's people, now pretty much anyone I could stand to be around whenever I'm around them, because I could see their pain and their struggle and their flaws all in one being. I'm simultaneously seeing the flawed human design while I'm simultaneously looking in the soul behind their eyes and seeing the divinity of the being. And if you could always see people on two levels, you can forgive them so much faster, so much easier. You can see that the God's love is deep beneath all of their words and actions. So you have words, you have actions, and then beneath that, you have the love that was always there. So keep that in mind. Always learn how to see love beneath everything. And especially, everything that's natural on this planet is such a sign. When you're out in nature, you can see the natural beauty of everything that God exists within. So, I'm going to leave you right there. If you got more questions, or if you want to work with me one-on-one to help you uncover your true genius, uncover your loving heart, open it up so you'll have all the relationships, you'll be able to manifest anything that you want. You're basically creating this dream one step at a time, day by day, anything that you can imagine. Learning how to follow your passion, your love, your excitement, your joy. I would love to work with you and do that with you. But thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. I'm going to keep sharing lots of messages of love. Help you turn on that heart. Thank you.